before I forget. So we're live on our podcast, so you can get us there too. So we're so glad that you're sitting in tonight with us for this important conversation. Just two little announcements I'm going to make before we begin our conversation is there's a couple of organizations that sent us some great announcement. One Voice has a great event coming up called the Mississippi Black Leadership Summit. The Gulf Coast region is on October 26th at 11 a.m. And I believe they're having these conversations and summits across the state. But the Gulf Coast region is October 26th, starts at 11 a.m. You can go to onevoice.org, and you get a listing of all the things the credible things that they're doing around this state to make sure that we stay alert on elections, political participation, that we are aware of all of the policies and things that are happening that impact our lives every day. Go to One Voice, and that's onevoice.org, and you'll have a list of all the things, amazing things that are going on. Attorney Roby is working on an amazing thing around redistricting also. So you can go there, and there's a link there for you need to really find out what's happening around redistricting in the state of Mississippi, and that's so important. It impacts our lives in so many different ways. Also, Mississippi Families for Kids, an organization that's been empowering kids and families for many, many years, is having their 8th annual Black Family Summit. 8th annual Black Family Summit, the economic impact of health inequity and racial justice. That's the focus this year. It is a virtual summit, so many of you who may not have been able to attend in person are now able to get it virtually. And that's Thursday, October 21, from 9 to 4 p.m. And there's an admission of $30. And social workers can also get their CEUs by attending this particular event. Students can attend for $10. And so we want you to go to their website, Mississippi, just Google Mississippi Families for Kids, and you'll be able to get that information. They have an incredible keynote presentation by Dr. Rashad Ali, MD, and he is amazing. I've had an opportunity to meet with him and work with him on some events, and he is just an amazing doctor. He has a clinic down in Laurel, Mississippi, and he is doing some amazing things around rural communities and specifically communities of color. So he always has some great information and a different perspective for us. So make sure you find out about that information. And that's Mississippi Families for Kids, their 8th annual Black Family Summit. Their 8th annual Black Family Summit. And Dr. Linda West is the head of that organization, and she's been doing some amazing things for many, many years. So please tune in for that. So now let's get started, because I only have a little time with Herb, and he's in Herbert. Welcome to the show again.
Hello. Thanks for having me on here.
And thank you so much for jumping on tonight. To just tell for those who may not be aware of what or who Mississippi Coding Academy is, share the work of the Coding Academy, what's its focus and its mission, and kind of update on where we are.
Sure. So the Mississippi Coding Academy is an 11-month course in coding/computer programming. Our focus is the fundamentals of what's called full stack web development. That's basically everything that goes into building websites. We're an 11-month course, non-traditional learning, very much hands-on. We've been operating since October 2017. As a matter of fact, on the 23rd, we'll make an official 4 years for us from our launch date. And our goal is to improve the workforce here in Mississippi by providing practically anybody now with skills that will have them prepared for an entry-level position in the tech industry, specifically as a junior web developer. So that's what we've been doing.
And this year, the numbers have really increased. We have about 50 cohorts here in the Jackson area. Of course, we have our site out here in South Jackson on 55 South, and we have a great downtown location, which is right in the heart of Innovate Mississippi's building downtown. So people from all diverse groups are part of this class. I love the idea that, of course, your participation around women has increased. You have individuals of color, you have young people who are young graduates, and you have individuals that are, I would say seasoned instead of saying older. And so you have a very diverse group. How does those coders mix well together? Tell us a little bit about the classroom setting and how it's different from your typical community college.
Right. Well, one thing we don't do is we don't use the term classroom. We use office or workspace. Our focus is not just education per se, but it's also workforce, teaching workplace environment culture, if you will. So there's obviously it's a mixed bag this year. When we started, our target was young people, recent high school graduates who either they were not on track to go to college or they had tried college and it didn't work out so well, or maybe they did go to college and graduated but still had issues finding work. So that's kind of been our target. But we decided, with COVID and just with the demand for people wanting to learn the skill who didn't fit in that demographic, that we would open it up. And it's been successful. I think everybody has an opportunity to kind of glean from each other. So that's been a really good thing to see. I'm seeing individuals who are, 50s or 60s, whatever, working right next to someone who's in their 20s. And that's kind of good to see. They're working really well together. But again, it's about not only coding, but teaching young people, how to conduct themselves at work and, what that environment is like. So that's what's been, it's working out really well. I'll say that.
And I think what I like when I'm always interacting with the coders here in the South Jackson location, Herbert, is the diversity of the group. And gosh, when we think about the future of work, which is what we're going to be talking about even with our second half, our guest tonight, that's what the future of work looks like, a more diverse work environment where you have people of color, you have people of all different races and culture, you have young people, you have older people. That's the future of work in our country, and I love to see it coming to full circle here at Mississippi Coding Academy and downtown. So I'm excited about the work of the Mississippi Coding Academy. I am so excited about the partnership that DSE Training Academy and the Mississippi Coding Academy has. I was so excited when the Coding Academy decided to place a location and a site right here in South Jackson, right on 55 South. The downtown location was very successful and continues to be successful. But a lot of people can't get downtown. They like the idea of being in their neighborhoods, leaving their home bases and coming right over here on 55 and being part of the neighborhood. And we're so glad to provide this workforce development piece in South Jackson, which is so much needed. We hear a lot of sometimes different narratives about different areas of Jackson, but there is real workforce development here. Of course, with DSE Training Academy and our Workforce Development Center, we have our truck driver training program who are putting to work in higher paying jobs that provides a clear pathway to success and job opportunities. Now we have Mississippi Coding Academy, and I want to say this program is an 11-month program that's tuition is 100% covered by the Academy. Mississippi Coding Academy students do not pay one dime to go to this program. And one of the most other things that is exciting is Prep for Success, which is an African-American woman-owned business, provided full hot meals for the students every day. And that's here at the South Jackson location and downtown. So if you're in person every day, you get a full hot meal that's paid and covered by Mississippi Coding Academy. And it's not a cold sandwich or bologna and cheese or grilled cheese sandwich. You get a full course meal every day, hot and ready to eat. And that is amazing. Sometimes, Herb, I sneak in there and see what's on the menu.
You should grab something.
Yeah, every now and then I definitely do. So, and I think that adds to a lot, too. It really makes the coders feel loved and cared for, and they get a chance during that break time to have conversations with each other and talk about things beyond their academy. So, Herb, this class is already up and running and on its path. But, of course, in just a few short more months, we'll be recruiting again for the next set of cohorts. So tell people how they can engage and what's required for them to qualify for enrollment.
Sure. So if you are interested in learning more about the Academy, you can visit our website. That is www.mscoding.org. We have an application the very top of that page, so you can fill that out. Also, I can be reached at herb@mscodingacademies.org. I can be reached there. We are going through our recruiting cycle right now, so we're in the middle of that. We got that going on. And what else? Yeah, you can come and visit us anytime at either location. Look, we're downtown is 119 North State Street. So we do welcome people to come in and see what's going on in the Academy and how we do things, to give them the best opportunity to see, what we do, how we do things, before they make, a decision that ultimately could change their lives.
Well, thank you so much, Herbert. You are just amazing. You've been part of the Coding Academy since day one. And has remained strong in providing so much great leadership and personality. So thank you so much for all the work that you're doing. We're going to be celebrating your anniversary pretty soon within the Coding Academy, and so that we're excited about that. So thank you so much for jumping on tonight and starting off this conversation, because our next guest is actually part of the board at Mississippi Coding Academy, Dr. Nashlie Sephus. And so we're glad to have her and Dr. Amber Johnson joining us. So have a great evening, Herb, and I'm sure I'll see you real soon.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Okay. We've been talking tonight to Mr. Herbert Brown, who is the senior instructor at Mississippi Coding Academy. And our conversation tonight is all about tech, how tech impacts our lives, how tech is changing the future of work, not only in this state, but in the country, how COVID has impacted how we look at tech, and how is women using tech to empower their lives. So this conversation is all about the future of work, and I want to get right into my conversation because I only have this 30 minutes with our next guest. It'll fly by. And so I'm so glad to welcome our next two guests tonight, Dr. Nashlie Sephus, who is not a stranger to Women for Progress Radio or a first-timer. She's now a seasoned guest with our radio network. But she's an applied science manager for Amazon's AI, focusing on fairness and identifying biases in AWS AI technologies. She formerly led the Amazon Visual Search team in Atlanta, which launched visual search for replacement parts on the Amazon shopping app in June of 2018. This technology is a result of former startup PartPick, Atlanta, being acquired by Amazon, for which she was the chief technology officer. Prior to working at PartPick, she received her PhD from the School of Electrical and Computer Engineering at the Georgia Institute of Technology in 2014 and worked for a year with Exponent, a technical consulting firm, in New York City. Her Her core research areas were digital signal processing, machine learning, and computer engineering. She received her BS in computer engineering from Mississippi State University in 2007. She is featured as Georgia Tech's inaugural Top 40 Under 40 alumni in the class of 2020. Dr. Sephus is a native of Jackson, Mississippi, and a 2003 graduate of Murrah High School Power APAC and Performing Arts Complex. She had several internships and research experiences worldwide with companies such as IBM, Delphi, University of California at Berkeley, GE Research Center, GE Energy, Miller Transporters, and Kwanwon University in Seoul, South Korea. In 2018, Dr. Sephus became the founder and CEO of the Bean Path nonprofit organization based in Jackson, Mississippi, assisting individuals and startups with technical expertise and guidance. In September of 2020, she became the owner and developer of the Jackson Tech District, at least 12 acres of mixed-use commercial real estate in downtown Jackson to bring tech training and workforce economic development to the area. In addition to these, she is a co-founder of KITT Labs in Atlanta, which was created to assist in building equity and opportunity targeting Black entrepreneurs in STEM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. During her leisure time, she enjoys playing tennis, playing the piano, listening to music, bargain hunting, biking, gardening, and working on DIY projects at home. And also, Dr. Amber Johnson is a Jackson native. What are all these powerful women from this area, I tell you, from the Mississippi soil? She's a native and owner of Kidult Life, a lifestyle brand. Dr. Amber attended Tougaloo College, the Lamont Owen College, and Jackson State University, where she studied computer science. In 2019, Dr. Amber became the first Black woman to graduate with a PhD in computer science from Purdue University. Dr. Amber has worked with organizations such as Girls Who Code, Black Girls Lead, and Bright CS, which all aim to bridge the digital divide and pour into youth through tech programming. Dr. Amber's experience in several sectors of tech, such as cybersecurity, healthcare, and cloud computing, has been a driving force for innovation through consulting, software engineering, software development, as well as research. Welcome, ladies, to the Women for Progress Radio Network and Women for Progress Radio tonight.
Thank you so much for having us.
It's always great to have you back at the table, Dr. Sephus. We just finished talking with Mr. Herbert Brown with Mississippi Coding Academy. We appreciate your support and work with that, not only the academy, but also with the board. It's been a great relationship. I've only been part of the board for a very short period of time, but it's been a pleasure and a great learning experience. You know, I'm not a coder yet. One day I'm going to have enough time to where I can sit in on the class. But it does take time. You have to have real focus. And but I'm excited to be part of the management effort and leadership effort around this great cause and the incredible people that we're empowering through that academy. And Dr. Amber, I think this is your first rodeo with us. Welcome to our show.
It is. Thank you so much. I've heard some great things, so I'm happy to be here.
Well, wonderful. And I love talking to women from Mississippi. There's just something fantabulous about us, and we are true queens of the soil. When you're born and raised in Mississippi, something just kind of moves up from the dirt and from the rocks and empower us to do amazing things. And as you can see from your bios, that you all have been doing really trailblazing work, and just pat on the back for all of that. But let's get right into the conversation, because we got a lot to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about, for those who may not be aware, Dr. Sephus, you are working and have launched and working to build this incredible tech center here in Jackson. In the meantime, you have launched Bean Path, which is empowering communities all over the city of Jackson right now around tech. You're helping entrepreneurs, business owners around tech education and development. And so tell us, what was the catalyst for all of this work, incredible work that you have brought to the city of Jackson?
Well, so again, we thank you all for having us here. I'm very excited to be joining with my recent co-founder and COO of Jackson Tech District, Dr. Amber. And so I think we both share the same sentiments when we say, we grew up, born and raised in Jackson, and we saw, people in our community, either they were surviving or they weren't. But very little did you see people actually using technology and implementing that into their everyday lives. And as we kind of went away from Jackson, as they call it, the brain drain, to kind of get that training and get the opportunities that we want to see in terms of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, we had to go away, and we found that there was so much more outside of the state, unfortunately. And so we knew that we had to do something to bring those opportunities back to the state. And so we wanted to make sure we affected, a broader community, instead of just those who are in school or going to school to be computer scientists, but also reach those people too, reach the senior citizens, reach the young folks coming through, the public school system, and those even at the youngest age. I think after 8th grade was my first time I ever got introduced to engineering. And it just makes you wonder, how many other people, if they would have that opportunity to be introduced to it, would also be in the STEM field today, which leads to greater innovation. It leads to financial stability. It leads to economic development and workforce development. And so that's why we started the Beam Path.
Well, great. And I want to delve a little bit into talk about where not only communities of color are in tech, but also women specifically around tech. We know that nationwide, the numbers are still single digits for women's participation in tech. And so when we look right now at what happened in COVID, and especially at women of color were impacted the most by this by jobs loss, by loss of their own businesses they may have been working on for years. They end up having to close those businesses. They were the major essential workers. But now women are looking at their future. They're really looking at it strategically. Some are saying that I don't want to get back into those jobs that I had before COVID. I'm tired of working 2 jobs, and I'm looking for a different opportunity. And so now there is time for all of these great opportunities, especially around tech, because many of us are working from home. Many companies that were in brick and mortars has said that we're not going back. We figured out a way. We started figuring out a way in the midst of COVID to work from home. Let's just figure out how can we do this. We can save a lot of money. We got a lot of people who don't want to get back into brick and mortar. By the way, we're still in the midst of a pandemic. We still got COVID issues. So talk to us. Let's talk about, both of you, tell us about the opportunities specifically for women in tech. Because when we talk, tech is still considered non-traditional for women. I mean, that's incredible to be able to say when we know tech impacts every part of our lives, and we don't have enough women involved in mainly in leadership roles in tech. But talk to us about that and opportunities that women may need to be aware of or may not be aware of.
So I think one of the things is having opportunity, having exposure. And so, we talk about women, we talk about other underrepresented groups not being, involved in tech or not being represented on a large scale. And I think it's because of the exposure. But then once we have that exposure, the ecosystem is missing, the nurturing. And so that's one of the things we're doing with the Beam Path. We're not just providing opportunities and mentoring and sowing these seeds, and we're also nurturing these individuals. And so, providing that ecosystem, once people, like myself and Dr. Nashlie, go into spaces where they don't see anyone that looks like them. And that could be, someone of color, that could be a woman, whatever it is, something they can relate to. And so we're providing those kind of opportunities. I think, there's a lot of women out there, especially Black women, who are in tech. You just don't know their names yet. And so I want to shameless plug one of my really good friends, Dr. Kyla McMullen, and her partner, Jeremy, Dr. Jeremy. They have a podcast called Modern Figures Podcast, where they interview Black women and Black women in the STEM field. And so I think, starting there, listening to those stories and people really understanding, you know, the roads that were traveled, the people who are blazing these trails, and then also, you know, reaching out to them, contacting them. But I think, you know, there are a lot of us who are doing some amazing things. I just think this exposure isn't there. And so one of the things we did recently with the Bean Path, we partnered with NCBW, the National Coalition for Black Women, 100 Black Women, and we taught about 40 kids, and mostly Black girls. And you would be amazed by some of the stories. You know, they came in like, you know, my parents just made me come here and I didn't really want to do it. To, you know, they were begging to start a new cohort. They were ready to, you know, go to the next stage. And so it's just a matter of taking the time and spending with the kids, spending with, you know, our peers. I just think it's the exposure.
I agree with you. And that's how I got connected with Mississippi Coding Academy. You know, here we put a lot of women in non-traditional jobs as truck drivers and construction, and I wanted that third leg, which was tech. And all those things have in common is higher paying wages, better opportunities, good benefits, all those kind of things, and that's how we got involved. We wanted to provide those opportunities specifically for women, even though it's a very diverse a group with men and women and young women and young men that are part of the class. But we wanted to provide that option for women to be able to have that space in our particular area, in our communities of color. So I'm so glad that you all are doing that in such a intentional way. And you mentioned some groups like Girls Who Code. I've been hearing that organization for a very long time. I know that's exciting around what they're doing for girls also, and Black Girls Lead. Tell us a little bit about those organizations and the work that they're doing and how other organizations can build opportunities in the same manner.
Absolutely. Girls Who Code is an amazing thing. I remember when I first learned about it, I actually thought I invented it. I was like, oh, we need something at Jackson. We got to have something, you know, to teach kids how to code, to expose them to this. And I found out that Girls Who Code exists. And since then, Reshma who's the founder of Girls Who Code, is one of my really good friends and mentors. She is doing some amazing work. I mean, from here to California, New York to Florida, they take the time out. They have these coding camps and classes all over the country where they have sponsorships from different corporations that are pouring into these young women. Black Girls Lead is actually an extension of Black Girls Rock. So it's the tech portion of it. So I was very privileged to be a part of, piloting that. And that was an amazing thing we did in Washington, D.C. Same thing, but we're so focused on Black girls and girls of color. There's one that isn't on there. I have not worked with Black Girls Code, but that Black Girls Code does exist, and I have some really good friends who mentor for their program as well. So anybody can apply. Young girls can apply to this. And if there isn't a Girls Who Code or Black Girls Code, chapter in your city or your school, you can start one. Wow. They'll provide you with all the materials, and you can start one.
Well, that's great there. Let me repeat that. Those who are listening, organizations that are listening, we have a lot of sororities. We have a lot of women-led organizations. And even in your after-school programs, I think that's an great opportunity for you to bring tech to your after-school programs if they currently do not exist. So, and we have to do that. We have to do it intentionally. And mothers and grandmothers that are listening right now, if you have a young girl that you want to get involved in tech, even just having an awareness of tech. I mean, even if you just don't want to say, well, I don't want to devote all my free time or extra time to it. Young girls and young boys need that exposure to it, and they're already using their phones and their laptops, and a lot of them are being still operating school from home, so they're heavily involved in tech, but they need to know how it works, because not only we need people that are followers in tech, we need people who lead in tech, especially of communities of color and more women. So make sure that you're getting your child and your grandchildren involved in these particular activities so that we make sure that we are part of the future in a very, very big way. Now, Dr. Johnson and Dr. Sephus, now the exciting thing, of course, we're talking about tonight also is the Bean Path. You are celebrating 3 years of this incredible venture that you put together that I think at one time you said, Dr. Sephus, is that it was your way of giving back to Jackson. So tell us, this about the last 3 years. What have been your successes with this particular project, and what do you see it expanding in the future?
Can I before Dr. Sephus goes? I just want to say I want to just give her flowers in creating the Bean Path. Taking the initiative to start it and pour into the community. She actually just left one of the local high schools where she's mentoring to be here and be on this interview. So not only has she created the Bean Path that has, developed this ecosystem that is, making its way around the whole Southeast.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say thank you for that.
And even the name Bean Path,
Oh,
I love that.
So I would say that's why I keep her around.
Yeah.
She gives flowers. So I'll quickly speak about the name of the Bean Path. The Bean is actually a computer programming term. It's actually a smaller component of something that you build onto, almost like Legos. And so most people think about bean being a seed that you plant. A lot of people don't know if you put a pinto bean or a black-eyed pea in the ground, it's going to grow. It's going to sprout. You give it enough nutrients, enough water, enough sunlight, it's going to grow. And so we want to help people find their pathways with technology. I'm an engineer. I got my undergrad in computer engineering and a PhD in computer engineering from Mississippi State and Georgia Tech. Engineers solve problems using technology. And we want to be able to show and empower other people to do the same thing. So with the Bean Path specifically over the past 3 years, we've impacted over 1,000 people. That goes from our senior citizen programming to enabling them to learn how to use their devices, or small businesses and startups, help them create websites, help them with their technical roadmaps for their businesses, help them figure out the best tech talent. How do you hire tech talent? What's the best prices for that talent? And even encouraging younger people or people who just want to learn, students who want to learn how to get into the tech fields, training them up and using different skill sets that appeal. The best thing I like about it is doing this in a way that appeals to the people of our communities. And so people in Jackson, people in Mississippi, we're a very unique kind of people. You mentioned it in the very beginning of the call. We have a very strong culture. It's rich. It's not really black and white. Actually, the majority of the state is under the poverty line. So as a whole, we all kind of lean on each other, whether we like it or not. I like to say, rising tide lifts all boats. So if one community is doing well, then the other community should do well. And so I believed in that, and I wanted the Bean Path to be a part of the solution, and even scaling that into the Jackson Tech District.
Now, the Jackson Tech District, that's exciting. You bought this great facility, 12 acres. It continues to be working toward the future. And what is your vision for the Tech Center? What can we expect to happen there once everything is up and running?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk about this. So the Tech District is actually 14 acres now. It's so amazing. So the space is downtown Jackson, right near the train station. And most of our lives, at least our adult lives, a lot of this space we're actually sitting in a building right now.
Oh, wow.
And so, a lot of this space has been abandoned. And so again, Nashlie walking in and having the vision to go, hey, we need our own space. The Bean Path needs a building. We are exceeding the capacity of the libraries. We need to have our own devices. So let's get a building. And that turned into 14 acres. That's a big old building. Turned to 8 buildings. Turned to 8 buildings and more to come. And so the Tech District will be a place for everyone. It will be a place where we'll have a makerspace. And for those who don't know what a makerspace is, it'll include 3D printers, laser cutters, lots of things that I'm sure most people don't see because they're not in everyday homes. And so, it'll be a place for small businesses can come in and develop their products. But then for people to come in and learn about technology and engineering, there'll also be residential units, so apartments and condos and grocery store.
Wow.
We love food. My favorite part is the food part. But we food hall, restaurant, and a park where people can come out and walk their dogs and have the kids play, or we'll have 2 event centers as well. So, and how could I forget the innovation station that will be the Bean Path headquarters? And so, if you can just go on this journey with us and just imagine this, just revitalizing this portion of downtown Jackson. And I know we see the Parkway going into Jackson State and how beautiful that is. And just imagine traveling that Parkway and coming into the Tech District where you can grab a bite to eat, learn how to code, or come in and, you know, do some yoga on the lawn if people like yoga. I'm not sure if people like yoga. Yeah. But yeah. So, I mean, you know, some karaoke. It'll just be a fun place to be, a nice place to be where everyone is welcome. And you know, it'll be driven by technology.
That's amazing. That's going to transform how we see Jackson. And I think that's going to be, I need to use this time to get right into one of the other things that we want to get. We want to get the community involved. We want to get businesses involved. We want to get organizations involved in helping support this effort. And so there's also in addition to celebrating 3 years of such great development and building and empowering our community, we want to continue the fundraising effort to make that happen. Tell us how you want us to engage with that. How can we support that effort for all of this incredible work? I mean, this is going to touch the lives of everybody. I mean, business owners, entrepreneurs, young people, families, women around health. You talked about the parks and mental health stability. All of this stuff is so exciting. When I say transform Jackson, that's what we need. We need to make Jackson what has always have been this super, super great place where we love to work and we love to come together and build our families and live and work and all those types of things. So tell us, guys, how we can support this effort.
Yeah, so we are in the midst of our fundraising campaign for the Bean Path, again, which is a 501c3. So all contributions are considered charitable contributions. You can follow us at the Bean Path. We have the links on there where you can give, or you can go to thebeanpath.org/donate. There's a way to text to give. We also have Cash App, $ The Bean Path. And so we already have some sponsors from different foundations and corporations, even such as Amazon, Kellogg Foundation, and they're looking to give us even more money if we have that buy-in from the community. And so we really need, as many people to contribute as possible. People reach out. We had some really good runs with the press, with the Jackson Tech District and the Bean Path. People have been reaching out from all over the world, asking how they can help. And so it means especially, a great service for it to come from our own community. And of course, who would be remiss if we did not also give back to the community? We have some wonderful events coming up this weekend for our Bean Path's 3-year anniversary. We have one tomorrow night, Friday night, October 15th. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. At the old Oliver Van Horn building, which is along Gallatin Street. It's 451 North Gallatin Street. And it is a special event. We have the Southern Comfort Brass Band. We'll have some hors d'oeuvres. We'll have some drinks. And we just want to have a good time and celebrate the 3-year anniversary. So that's our big fundraising mixer. So please feel free to come out to that. It's at our brand new building, the Bean Path, our first kickoff building of the Jackson Tech District. And for a more family-friendly environment, you can come out Saturday morning from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So after the Jackson State Parade, come on down, drive through. You can literally drive in, get your gift bag. We have some food for you. McAllister's is sponsoring, and you can drive on out. You don't have to worry about getting out the car. And we would love to give away different things for kids. We have raffles. We'll get raffling off some really nice prizes from like the new Polaroid cameras, Chromebooks, all courtesy of our sponsors. And so we really appreciate you all to come out and just celebrate with us.
Well, this is an exciting time. And as you always have done with the Bean Path, you make sure that whole families all together from all over the city gets to take part in it. But I want to give you all some examples, because sometimes when it comes to donating, we're just trying to figure out, should I do the texting? Should I show up at an event and give a check? Should I share through social media? You can do all of that. You want to share the information of Bean Path. Print the information off on the beanpath.org and share it with your church organization. Right now, today, before Sunday, for those of you meeting in person, Put flyers out in your lobby area about the Bean Path and its work, and ask your community to support this incredible organization and what it's doing. This is going to be for us. So you want to share with them what this is going to look like, what it means for the city of Jackson. Put it in your church organizations. Talk to your women's leagues at your church, your men's organization. Spread the word like it's wildfire, because this is exciting stuff. And look, no donation is too small, because you get enough $5 donations and put them with those $5,000 donations, and you got some stuff running, okay? So everybody, you need to get your children involved. Tell the children, make it a fundraising effort, but explain to them what this means for the city of Jackson and our families in city of Jackson. They'll get excited. It'll be something that we all can work together on and be part of. You know, Dr. Sephus talked about the buy-in. We want to make this a community and city affair. Let folks know that we love the city of Jackson. I don't know what we hear all about crime and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, stuff going on all over the country. But this is one of the most amazing cities in the world, okay? There is no other city nowhere like the city of Jackson. It's rich history. Yes, it has some challenges in its history, but the rich history and the people that have come through this place and have stomped these grounds and built families and built their careers in life and continue to build their careers in life and family. This is one of the most incredible cities everywhere. And the Mississippi, the state as a whole, cannot survive without it. Cannot survive without it. I don't care how many suburbs you build and how many people decide that they want to live elsewhere. City of Jackson will survive. It still will continue to bring its rich music and history and food and so much more. And I tell you, this particular Jackson Tech District is going to set us on top of the world when it comes to what's being done there. I mean, we will be known as the great city that we've always been, but we want to be part of it. Every time you put a $5 donation, $100 donation, if let your organization donate $2,000 or $3,000 or $10,000, you find these nonprofits who are getting grants. If you put a place in there for the Bean Path and the work, and make sure that you contribute, and make it an ongoing donation. Some of us may say, hey, I can only do $50 a month, but do it every month until this thing explodes. Its first building has already opening this Friday, and you can be part of that and check that out. Make sure you go. I did the drive-by the last anniversary event that you had, and it was some great little gifts in that bag. You got lunch from McAllister's, and I didn't get a door prize, but I love the idea of having the opportunity. I took all my grandkids in the car with me, and we drove around and got our bags and goodies. So you do that too, because this is for you. This is being done for you and your family and your business and all of those things in the place you live and work. So I want you to donate. We're going to continue to share after this show how you can connect. So go to our Facebook page if you can't figure the Bean Path out. Is it beanpath.org, Dr. Sephus?
Yes, the Bean Path, TheBeanPath.org.
Okay, so that's thebeanpath.org/donate if you want to donate. There's a place that you can text to give also. I'm sure a lot of people are not mailing anymore, but I'm sure if you mail the check, there's an address probably there too. You can drive around with your check on Saturday and say, I'm sure there's going to be people on both sides. You don't even have to get out of your car. Say, hey, here's my check. Stick it in. You don't even have to put it in the envelope. I'm sure they won't be insulted that you just hand them that check. So we want you to be part of this. This is a wonderful thing for the city of Jackson, and we want you to be to do whatever you can, however you can. And so this has been an amazing conversation. I got so many other questions for you, amazing ladies. So we're going to have to bring you back.
Oh,
and I know you will. And now, Dr. Johnson, now you are seasoned within our network. So don't wait for us to call on you. Anytime you want to come and sit in, with the Women for Progress Network. You are welcome, 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 welcome. I still got to get both of you all involved in Women for Progress. We got to figure out why Teresa ain't got that done. We're going to have to give her a little tap on the head about that, But we would love to have you part of this organization, but we continue to work with you. We're so happy. We'll continue to sing your praises and about the work that you're doing here, and we're so excited. And we want to give you an individual pat on the back for the both of you. You're trailblazers. You're women who give back. You're women who lead. You're women who are committed to excellence. And we love, love, love that within Women for Progress. And we're so glad that you're an example and an inspiration for us. I always say with women it's amazing how when you blow wind at women, they end up, soaring. And women like you, that's what you do. You blow wind up under our wings, and you continue to inspire us to do more, to be better, to make sure that we bring those along with us and uplift our families and our friends and our neighbors in our cities and our communities in our state. And I am so proud of both of you, and I thank you so much for the work. And Women for Progress gives you the deserved pat on the back for all the work that you do, And thank you so much for all that you do.
Thank y'all so much. We'll definitely be back.
All right. Now, this is wrapping up our conversation. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. This has been a powerful conversation. Our topic has been the future of work and tech and what's happening in Jackson. So make sure that you go to thebeampath.org and check out all the events that's happening this weekend and be a part of it. Thank you and good night. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Herb, for coming in. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.